Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin.
How are you?
I'm well. Tell me, you're home,
I
right?
just got home a couple hours
Yeah.
ago. I went on Tuesday. Was kind of hoping to pick up a set when I was in Milwaukee, but ended up just hanging out with family and then driving to Minneapolis to do the 10,000 Laughs Comedy Festival. Had lunch with Louis Lee from Acme and and I couldn't pick up a set at Acme because they were doing Crash and Burn, which is
Oh,
that Tim Slagle thing where everybody does 20 that they've never ever done before, Tuesday through Saturday.
I want to do that one week. When's that ever?
Yeah, it's next year. Next year, just tell Louis that you want to do it. I'm sure he would tell Slagle, and Slagle would it would happen.
Okay.
I think.
Who did
Yeah.
it this year?
I knew you were going to ask me that. It was Coleman, Greg Coleman.
Okay.
I've been working on this new bit about not knowing names and whatever, and I've only done it twice, but
Yeah.
I was psyched because I just essentially just kept telling everybody that I literally there's 600 slots in my brain, and some of those people are dead, but I can still picture them. That
Yeah.
could get out of the way. I'm
No,
never going
you
to see
know
my grandmother again. I don't need to have an image of her in
I'm
my head.
sorry, but Greg Giraldo will always live in my head. And a
Right.
new comic, I'm sorry, there's just no room for you.
I
but-
apologize. Yeah.
It's the great Greg Giraldo is taking up your space, so be honored.
Be honored. Right. And a lot of mediocre comics rattling around in there. So
Mhm.
sorry. And that's the way it goes, though. I will say that but it was super fun. My festival was fun. You're at the Milwaukee Comedy Festival. I was at 10,000 Laughs. I got to hang out with so many comics, and I saw Ian Carmel. I did not get to see the Sklar brothers, but I hung out with Dulce Sloan for a
Sloan?
second. A hot moment. We had a lovely time.
Is she still at the Daily Show?
Yeah.
Okay.
And everybody, yeah, I was like, I didn't ask her about it because
Right.
and then I announced that I wasn't going to ask her about it. And she was like, good, because I'm not going to talk about it. And I was like, yeah. She said, even if I knew anything, I wouldn't talk about it. I said, well, look at you with discretion. And so Carmen was there. Hilarious. The story of the weekend, I guess, would be at 10,000 Lakes, was that there was a show at the House of Comedy there. And I don't believe it was part of the festival, but because of it, and I want to find his name and get it right. We're going to fuck with it. His name was Brad. There you go.
Uh-huh.
Oh, close enough. He was doing a set. There were hecklers. The heckler, one of the heckler table came up to him after the show and was like, I'm so embarrassed by my friends. Here's $200. And he took it. And then the guy
Yes.
said, and then the guy goes, seriously, I'm so sorry. They were still screwing with whoever was on stage. And he goes, I say, I own the Smack Shack. I own this chain called the Smack Shack. If you guys want to come, free lunch or dinner on me. And Brad goes, I think it was Brad. He goes, sativa. Does that sound right? Anyway, he
Strain of marijuana.
right. Well, he's very lucky that his last name is sativa. But the the crazy thing is he brings 5 other comics. The guy's
Good.
like, yeah, whatever you want
Yeah.
on me.
Right.
$700.
Good. Not enough. Still more. Should have got more
Still
to-goes.
more. They should have got to goes. Yeah, but it was mostly lobster and filet mignon. Carmen posted the receipt on her Instagram, Carmen Morales.
Nice.
Nice touch.
That sounds fun.
Yep. The shows. it's at a bunch of different venues, and most of them were great. I had Ethiopian food. One of the greatest. It's been there forever. It's called the Red Sea in Minneapolis, over on Four Corners. We stayed on Seven Corners at a Air Marriott, kind of walking distance. A lot of coffee shops, but old school. Old school. It used to be like a really big theater and music district, and now it's a little skid. I mean,
Mhm.
but there's a great Ethiopian restaurant. There's a there's a coffee shop that's open too much. Like it used to be 24 hours, and so it was a little dodgy. It was always a little scary to go there. But one of the shows, they kept having shows at they had it at the Red Sea Theater. There's a little box theater in the red next to the Red Sea Ethiopian restaurant, which is delicious, by the way. And then there is Cedar Cultural Center. That's where I had my show. Super fun, nice people, amazing lineup. Caitlin Reese, Pearl Rose, I believe,
Mhm.
and Rose Pearl. I think it was Pearl Rose. Anyway, very funny comics, and Carmen, and a guy, Fabrizio, from New York.
You keep
Uh,
pulling out a menu of comedians to look at.
yes, and they're not all there. It's mostly just the headliners. Here's
Mhm.
what I would say about the 10,000. I don't know who booked it. I don't know if it was the Bob Adams, or if it was David Rodriguez. But it was amazingly diverse, not just in the kinds of humans, but
Yeah,
in the kinds of topics
yeah, yeah.
with the chitter chat, and it was nice,
That's cool.
and it was super cool. But the point of this whole, and granted, we have time, but the Palmer Dirtbag Dive uh, bar on, I think it's on Cedar, not Riverside. It has been just a death trap for just a place. When I lived in Minneapolis, I was scared to drink there. Are you kidding me? It
Wow,
was like you had to get past the bouncer who was like, "Are you a big enough alcoholic to come in here?" It
Jack.
is the grossest, and Bob Dylan used to hang out there, and it is. And so they had shows there every day, and they were trying to have two shows. I think two of the shows were canceled because there was a fight at every show.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
Well,
there was just some sort of heckler. Yeah.
I'm in Milwaukee. I got in. I flew out Saturday afternoon, so I got in around 1 a.m.
Oh, wow.
here, and no food. There's nothing here. No vending machines. I think I. This is like my third encounter with a hotel with no vending machines. I can't even get a
It's
fucking
just,
snack. A
they
snack.
don't wait. The weird thing is vending machines are usually on lower end hotels. So they're keeping you in a nicer hotel, but a
Yeah,
nicer hotel usually has one of those closets where you can buy a toothbrush, some tampons, and a bag of
closed.
chips.
Closed.
What?
Closed. Yeah, closed. So the front desk guy, he snuck into his stash, he told me.
Yeah.
And he brought, because I was like, I'm so hungry, please. And there's nothing else open. Like there's not a 7-Eleven within walking distance or anything. And so he brought me like a
Where are
kind
you? Where
at the
is the festival?
at the Regency, the Regency, Hyatt Regency, and maybe it's near the Kilbourne district, I think.
Are you
It
downtown? Does it feel downtown?
Well, Jackie, when you lived in New York City, nothing else feels like that. So I don't know what you're talking.
Wow, what a dick. Hyatt
It's
Regency.
the Milwaukee River's nearby. I mean, there's things.
Yeah.
So so I had a little food last night, and then brunch this morning, and the brunch was the fruit section decimated. Like all there was left was like the waffle machine and some bread, and a lot of angry people. But then
Oh,
they
wow.
brought some more fruit out, but it was just, I don't know. I was
Yeah.
just so hungry. And I just had a salad just now that I had delivered, and paid way too much money for it. But oh well,
Sure.
sometimes that happens on
You
the road.
have to eat. Yeah. Uh,
But I had just had a show tonight. I had a show at the Shank Hall. Do you know where that is? It's
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's neat.
it was really neat. And it was a great venue and it was looked pretty full. I think it was full. Like I saw the silhouettes of people sitting at the window, way because the window looks out onto the street, and that was kind of cool. And the front row was empty, just a very front row, but then it was like pretty full from there back. And crushed.
Congratulations.
You know
Yeah,
how fun.
yeah. You know what, that's better than food.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was cool. And I did an afternoon show that was pretty fun too. And yeah, I didn't really I walked from the hotel to the Laughing Tap, and so that was just me getting around Milwaukee. But other than that,
Yeah.
I've been in a hotel or doing shows and stuff. And
Well,
I
Shank Hall is by Farwell, and there's a really great restaurant on Farwell. I don't know if it's by Shank Hall, but it's called Beans and Barley. But I think you leave at the crack of dawn tomorrow, right?
I had a noon flight. I was gonna have a luxurious morning tomorrow, and then my son has a follow-up appointment for his hand at 3:45, and his dad can't take him. So I had to change my flight to 5:50 in the morning so I could take my son to
Ah,
the hand doctor.
yeah,
So I have to wake up in, I don't know, 5 hours
yeah,
to get to
yeah.
the airport. But
And
here's
there
what I
is
love.
not a direct flight from Milwaukee or to
No,
Milwaukee
no,
in our
there's always
lives, in our lifetime. I have no
no,
idea why.
never, never.
And
Uh,
same with Chicago, because I was thinking about flying into or like O'Hare direct and driving to Milwaukee. There's not on the two airlines that I use, which is Delta and Southwest. So anyway,
Southwest
there's no.
would they go to Midway from Burbank?
Oh, I wonder.
You
I
have
can
to,
make a.
you don't have to go O'Hare, right?
Nope.
I mean, if you're not
I don't.
if you're
Yeah.
not doing a layover, it doesn't matter.
Right. If there's something direct to Chicago,
But
I'll take it.
okay. Um, so yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyway,
So sorry.
yeah, I didn't get much sleep last night because I got in so late, and then the sun came in at and I got like 4 hours, and I'm gonna have another night of 4 hours, but I do have a check to cash, and that's very exciting for me.
Is that one? Did Greg Bach? Was he the
Yeah.
one who runs that one?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
That's great. That's great.
It's such a
And
great venue. So they're so nice here. Oh, and the t-shirts that they gave me, like they're so soft. I'm like, we gotta get a t-shirt going with this company because it's so soft. I love it. I'm so excited.
well, I'm so glad. Is it? How's the design?
The design is fine. They have a long sleeve one that was the club design, and then the short sleeve was the Skank Hall. So
Okay.
I don't know if those were two different shirt companies. We'll check
Sure.
it out. But
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
I mean, cozy, cozy, cozy.
Cozy. I got a 10,000 laughs t-shirt that is a weird yellow, which I thought was kind of cool. I like it when they branch out a little bit. They're like, we're gonna not do a black t-shirt. I own 100 black t-shirts. So
I know. Is it a mustard yellow or is
yeah,
it a?
it's this yellow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's neat. And for some reason there's lumberjacks and that might be a walleye, might be a bass. Can't tell.
Well, I mean,
Don't know enough.
there's Paul Bunyan, of course, is from
Right?
Minnesota. No,
There's
or North Dakota. I'm thinking
well,
of him as Fargo.
there's a giant statue of Paul Bunyan in northern Minnesota, and people are like, it's a destination. I was like, you are incorrect. I don't care. I don't ever want to see a giant statue. No, I think it's the blue babe the blue ox. It's
Oh
not,
yeah.
I don't
Okay.
think it's Paul Bunyan. I think it's the blue ox, which I also don't care about. But so be it. Yeah.
I'm a half hour away from where my Luxembourg ancestors settled, but I can't make the trip today, but I'd love to another time. Check it out.
Right.
Check out the
Right.
old homestead that they were given after the native people were removed and put God knows where. They were
Happy Columbus Day.
right.
Right. Today's when this comes out, it will be Anti-Indigenous People Day, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a holiday, is what I'm saying, because
It's not a holiday for my son's school. They go to school tomorrow.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't think it's a holiday. I think they switched out a different holiday for Columbus Day. I think
Okay.
they're easing out of it.
Carmen was saying, because she's part Italian and part Spanish. She's like, I'm all over this holiday. The Spanish paid for the Italians to come over here and screw with people, and she's also part Cuban. I was like, you got it coming and going. It's
Queen Isabella paid for Columbus, right?
Twice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's she must have been drunk. Anyway, it's weird.
So the thing that was going around today was the clip with Ariel Elias. Oh my gosh.
Previous comic of the week.
Yes. And she was at Uncle Vinny's, which I it's such a comedy club name. I want to work it. Like when
South Carolina.
When I saw her a bottle being thrown at her, or a beer, I was like,
can of beer.
Try that room. It's in Jersey, and
was it in Jersey?
Yeah.
I thought it said South Carolina. It's in Jersey.
No,
okay.
It's in Jersey. Yeah. There's no Vinnies in South Carolina.
Oh.
Not even.
I am unfamiliar with the migration of Vinnies.
So she was on. I guess she just said kind of like any questions, and someone asked her if she
voted for
Biden. It turned into a Biden-Trump argument, which is never good on stage, especially now. And then I don't know if I'm sure she had pointed this out before, but she said during the set, "I'm the only Jewish person here. Are you trying to get me killed?"
Right.
And then a few beats later, and she had a great line to them.
The greatest line.
A great line.
Because, yeah, they were like, "I could tell from your material that you voted for Biden."
Yeah. And then she said, "I can tell because you keep talking when no one wants you to that you voted for Trump," which is like,
bam,
great.
Which was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that plus being Jewish got her attacked with someone threw a beer at her, like a full can of beer.
Yeah.
And so it hit the wall behind her, and she picked it up and drank it.
And drank it from the germs of some Trump voter.
No, I think it was a full. It was like it wasn't.
It was almost full. It was if it wasn't full, it was almost full.
Yeah.
So I was worried about germs. I genuinely was.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was an incredible clip, and she had it captioned perfectly, really well done. Yep. Put it up. It's going crazy. Apparently Kai had I forgot, I can't remember his last name, but he's a comic. He posted, I guess Kimmel like quote tweeted her, and so she responded by, "Can I make my late night debut on your show?" And he said, "Definitely." And I was like, "What? This is awesome."
That is awesome.
Really flipping it into something, which is incredible.
Good.
Always record that shit, you know.
Right.
It's important.
Right. But
don't know.
I felt so bad for her because she clearly has, like, I retweeted her pinned tweet, which was a very funny joke about tomatoes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she has material that she was clearly wanting to do, and she tried to placate the couple. She tried to just be like, I don't care who you vote for, whoever you want. I'm just glad we're all here. And, she did it like I did it at that horrible club with the destination heckler people who ended up attacking me after my show. And but
can you talk about that at all?
Generally I can talk about it because it happened many years ago now, 3 years ago, pre-lockdown.
Wow.
That's how long it's been. Jesus. But it's been this ongoing nightmare, and that was where I learned. Because, we were raised, and she was raised, and new baby comics are raised that you have to nut up. Hi, I'm 100 years old and a woman. I just said the words nut up. Please join me. Anyway, so we're supposed to just take it And then like you could see her thinking. You could see her scared. You could see her thinking. You could see her going, I got to finish my time. I can't get off. I got to finish my
Yeah.
time. I
Yeah.
can't get off.
Pivot.
And
Yeah.
yeah. And finally coming up with that great Trump line and which is awesome, but that's not how we should write material. That's not how we, should get our late night spot, risking our lives. And,
Right.
and this is now it's because we've all had these horrible situations where you posted that thing about someone whipping up,
I was like trying to be an
funny.
asshole
Yeah.
on purpose, like to post it like, hey, but that situation was not this one at all, because I had done a bit about liking bread and they threw a bread roll at me, and they meant well. It was a roll, whatever. It was dumb.
They were trying to help. You said
Yes.
you liked bread. Here,
Yeah.
have some bread.
Exactly. That's what happened.
I had somebody throw popcorn bags at me when I first started doing stand up because I had made fun of them. That was on me, quite honestly. And they were bags. They were bags of popcorn.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's. I haven't. Yeah.
Well, this situation was scary because they were like, again, just because of and all the anti-Semitism that is like exploding right now, and Kanye West and Marjorie Taylor Greene and the midterm, all this shit. And I'm assuming that she has some jokes about being Jewish, right? So she's probably done that. So these people are like, right? They're Trump supporters. She's Jewish. Those, and those some other jokes that make her look like she's,
her tomato joke is about science, Laurie. So she's pro-science as well. So she's clearly a threat to a couple of dum-dums in the middle of Jersey.
That's what's scary, is that the other kinds of heckles are annoying, but the heckle where the person is politically motivated and it seems to be much potentially more violent and scary for any comic that falls under someone being suspicious of you, and it's suspicious of what's going on behind those jokes. If you don't out and outright say, like, you're a political comic, you talk about this stuff, then they'll just, which is a different thing. They might right off the bat throw something at you. But if you sort of don't,
if you're just
you pick your words.
And like I'm more political than I've ever been in my life, right? But for decades, all of my jokes were sociopolitical. I mean, there were some sociopolitical jokes, and absolutely, if you scratched it at all, you could tell that I was just a big hippie skippy crystal clutcher and like a peacenik, and not and probably and more than likely a giant liberal, right? But nobody ever cared because there was dick jokes at the end. I talk about sales and I never overtly said George W. Bush is a tool bag, though I actually do in the Bread album talk about how he won't go to church because he was he didn't. Do you know that George W. Bush didn't go to church because he didn't want he thought it was threatening. He didn't want to make the rest of the congregation unsafe. He said it wasn't.
I see that because you had to go with.
It was right after 9/11, and
oh, I see.
Yeah, it was, and my joke was that my dad had been looking for that excuse for 60 years. He was like, but all he came up with is kickoff is at noon. Kickoff is at noon. Anyway, so a joke, by the way, no one can hear on Sirius or Pandora, so I might as well just say it. Anyway, yeah, four of my albums are back on Spotify, not Staycation, but the other four. And I may record a best of, and I may just call it all the jokes I remember.
Interesting.
From all those albums.
Yeah.
And because I was told that they're not gonna do their Sirius XM isn't gonna play anything that was ever associated with Spoken Giants, and neither is Pandora. So
well, they're from what I understand, 800 Pound is opening another record company, starting another record company with a different name that Sirius will work with. It's so unbelievable. It's so unbelievable this is happening. It's so unbelievable it's happening to you and me and a bunch of people that just put out albums with 800 Pound Gorilla. They had the best intentions. They're, cool people work there, but it's fucking infuriating.
I emailed him and asked for my master's back, and I said, "Am I going to have to hire a lawyer?" And yes, I am.
Oh my God.
And I think we're all aware of how much I love lawyers right now.
Right.
I'm very proud of you for passing the bar. In other news, it's very expensive. So, yeah. So, but yeah, the idea that, and I tweeted at Ariel, and I just said, know that you don't have to tolerate that. And I know that you dealt with it incredibly well, and you were hilarious, and it was great. But no one ever told me that I didn't have to tolerate it. So I'm letting you know that you don't have to tolerate it, and you still get to be a stand-up comic. You don't have to get beaten up. I remember. Did I ever tell you about the time the very drunk guy yelled from the audience? It was some Marina Del Rey gig, and he yells, "I'll give you $100 if you say anything funny." And I said, "Sir, you have not had $100 in your pocket for more than 15 minutes in your entire life." And so he came up to the stage, so drunk, emptied his pockets onto the stage. And I was like, $47. Pick it up. Or it's mine. And he was like, "Keep it." And I was like, "You don't have to tell me twice."
Yeah, always, if they offer you money, always take it, comics.
Always take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's funny.
Ask for more.
It's funny to take it. So you're being funny if you take it. Yeah, I mean, also you always feel like if you can end an interaction on a good laugh, then the person will back down.
Yep.
And you can go along your merry way. It's very unusual for someone to keep going after they've been shot in the face like she did with that Trump line. For them to
barrels, man.
They didn't come back verbally. They came back physically with a physical attack. But
right,
you
the
just
heckler was the woman, though the guy did say something, and the beer thrower was the guy.
Yeah,
the husband. And then I guess he ran.
Right.
And but he had made a reservation. So the club sent the cops today with
cool.
because they're going to press charges, they said.
Yeah.
So
good.
Which is good.
And I mean, if it was because she was Jewish, that's I was talking with some other comics today. They were saying that's a hate crime. So yeah, but it is, it's I don't know, it's something we're always that's a little bit in the back of your mind always, and now maybe it should be a little bit more in the front of your mind, that people are being told to that it's okay to behave like this,
right. And people are like, ever since Chris Rock and Will Smith, and I'm like, oh no, this has been, people have charged, people have pushed me around, people have done all kinds of things. I get walked to my car when I did the road hardcore, right? The 90s and the up to like 2005 probably, where I was mostly just driving and doing gigs, 2007. And I would make sure I got walked to my car, and I still do a couple times a year, but I used to do it every time because I would be in these weird one-nighters or these, it was different if it was a glorious gig, which was in the bar of the Best Western. That's good times. Then you could just stumble up to your room, fall over in a heap, and then in between shows.
I loved those gigs, those one-nighters.
I really did.
They were so nice.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that it's just different now with I don't even mean that people are, they feel like it seems to be with like Trump people, and your experience as well, where they feel like they get to interrupt and stop and get the attention on them because that's what Trump does, and that's what his acolytes do. And it seems like the audience is starting, those kind of members of the audience are starting to act like those kind of
Yeah.
people, like Matt
And-
Gates, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, etc.
And at one point, the woman said, "You're so rude,"
To
to the
Ariel.
comic, to
Oh,
Ariel.
God.
Said, "You're so rude. No one's told me to stop talking." And then she said, "How many people want her to stop talking?"
Oh yeah.
And then the
right.
entire audience is like, "Woohoo! Please
Yeah.
do."
Yeah.
And then the guy threw the thing. And then
Yeah.
she chugged the thing. And then she never got to do her bit. It was about self-esteem too.
Well, she may have. She
Right.
just cut. She's ended the clip.
Right. The good. And Giancarlo, who was recording
Mhm.
and who posted it, he just did the dork for us, you guys.
He's very funny.
He's very funny, but he said, how sad is it that the first thing I checked after the beer can was thrown was that her camera was still standing?
I know.
Hey, let's take a break.
Okay.
And then let's talk about the comic of the week.
Comic. You back?
Yep.
We're
I think
back.
so.
Comic of the week. I just worked there tonight. She featured at the show at the Shank. I keep wanting to say Skank because that's what I was called by the pro-lifers or the anti people.
Right.
Yeah. And so
They're certainly not pro-life.
no.
Yeah.
So her name is Carly Malison, and I think she is local. She's a Milwaukee comic, very, very funny. Malison, Malison, Carly Carly.
Carly
And,
Malice.
Yeah, she's a Milwaukee girl. Her mom came to the show too.
Awesome.
Funny and smart and sarcastic and everything you want in a comedian. So
Yeah.
check out Carly.
And what's her Twitter handle? Is it that just her name?
I think it's just her name.
It's just her name.
Thank you. Yay. There were so many women at this festival that I was at. I was like, we could do this. I mean, we may have to do like just an episode of just talking about 1,000 comics, because there's so many new, and it is great that they have each other's backs, for the
Mhm.
most part, and they're what they are is they're witnesses for each other.
Yeah.
Like what we didn't have was there weren't enough women comics working that you could just go, you tell a horrible story and some of the guys would believe you, but some of the guys wouldn't believe you. But if you tell that story in front of like 4 other women comics, 3 of them, all 4 of them are going to have comparable stories, right?
Right.
It's going to be a one-up sitch. So yeah. And oh my gosh. So last week, are we going to address last week at all with the Patreon and the...
Oh yeah, we're adding stuff to our Patreon.
Yeah, we're going to add we might interview another comic about their experience.
What we're thinking now is for the $5 and up is we're going to have one podcast a month where we're going to talk with another comic, like a comic of the week, a former comic of the week. And then 20 and up, free notebook. We have notebooks.
Right. 10 and up is the sticker thing, and then 20 and up is everything plus free notebook.
Yeah, you get everything below, And so we're gonna add to the Patreon. We're not gonna take away this podcast at all, this free podcast.
Right. There's not gonna be a weird paywall or 30 minutes and then you have to pay. And almost all of the comics I met at this festival, both men and women, listened to the thing, and I was like, so they can afford $12 a year is what they're saying. They're like, I'm like, yeah, your features, you're grinding it out, you're headlining, but you're just getting into it, right? There's just there's no money in it. But so many people, did you get a bunch of money on Venmo?
I got some money on Venmo, and
should I split all the money that I got on Venmo? Is that what's happening?
I don't know. Let's check it out. Some of it I got because I got just for my album, and then Leah Jones, she sent $100 to pay for 12 features.
Oh my God. Dar Vendega sent $100.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right.
To pay for, Yeah, I purchased you and Laurie's albums this year. They were excellent, and I can't tell you how much work and love went into them. I can tell, but I definitely listen to the podcast for free a lot. I want to be worth it for you too and buy more than non-fish based groceries. So, but Ellen Knudsen and Beth
Oh yeah.
Zarinelli and Dawn Cole and Casey Conley, who's a comic.
Oh,
A lot of these people are
comic
comics.
Casey
Yeah,
and Bruce
Nicole
Houghton.
Alfonso.
Yes.
Yeah, Matt Todaro. Um, Susan Van Alstein, David Lennon, Jeff Binns Calvi. I need to read all of them. I'm so sorry. Christina, it's real clock eater. Christina Burke, Matthew Carr, Laura Langford, Kenna Villar, Tamar Sagar, Daniel Schroeder, Holly Clash, but that is a Dork Forest. Yeah, so people are doing it, and it was
That was
very
nice.
very nice. Yeah,
That was very nice. And briefly, our albums shot up the charts again.
right. I think
So
you were
that could
number
be
2.
5 sales. I was above Louis. Ha ha. So hey, maybe next April will be, I'm still, my expectations have been lowered dramatically by reality, but you never know. I'll, maybe
I think it was too many things in a row, right? I think it was, it was all of your jobs you were like, I need one of these jobs. Plus you
I need
to pay something.
I have like 50 lines out, 50 fishing lines out. And, I'm like, just somebody fucking nibble, please. I'm begging for one nibble on all of these lines. I did put up my, what did you just,
Can we talk about that?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I just saw. Yeah, well, let me just say real quick. I did put up the 45 jokes about my dead dad on my YouTube channel. It's a rough screener, so every once in a while there'll be like a card that just says screener cut. But other than that, it's like it has all the interviews, it has all the other footage of people, people like it. So it will be on service soon, but I don't know when. And I'm just tired of people asking me and me saying I think it's coming out sometime soon. Here's one where it's not perfect because there's just a few graphic problems, but they're like 10 seconds of like a black screen. You still hear everything. So people want to watch it, you just go on my YouTube channel. It's right there.
And it's an hour, right?
A little under, but yeah. Like Conan's
awesome.
on it. Patton Oswald's on it. And Andy Kindler. The guys interviewed all 3 of those guys about me tweeting. So there's a little star power there.
Sure.
And my neck is 8 years younger. Oh, looking so good. What happened to that neck? Too bad. Oh well.
I had coffee with Liz Winstead yesterday, and she a guy that she went to grade school with and high school with. Him and his wife live in his old house from when he was a kid, and she essentially bought into it so that she has a place to stay in Minneapolis for like 3 months a year. And so and she loves autumn, and it was so beautiful there right now. And so we went and had coffee and hung out, and she was like, I wish I had known about this festival. I would have had a party at the house. And I was like, I don't know why you didn't. That's weird. But I love Liz Winstead and Abortion Action Front, and she's doing like Abortion Action Front stand-up shows, and then she's doing her own stuff, a couple of theaters in Minneapolis, in New York, and in a couple other cities. And she's like, I wish I could do more work, but I also don't want, I write this hour. It's essentially it's a yearly hour. It's sort of like Andy Kindler's State of the Union kind of thing.
Okay, right.
State of the industry. So, but it's more political. So, but she's so great. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I had a weird, I don't know, someone DM'd me on Twitter and was like, hey, so and so said you're mean in their Instagram stories. And I'm like, okay. I mean, you know what, Jackie? I am mean. I'm sorry.
You
I mean,
can be. You can be, because the thing is the joke, you can't not say it. There's very little, you're just like, we've all been there where we weigh, you're like, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? It's worth it. And you
don't go
jump.
for it.
Yes.
Okay. But here, somebody. Okay, I'm just gonna be vague. I'm sure the comics know what I'm talking about. But so a comic did something that made its way to Twitter, and it was maybe earnest. I don't really know, but it some people thought it was kind of cringy. Yes.
Okay.
So, and then somebody else did a very funny video, sort of making fun of it.
Of them,
And and they posted that on Twitter, and then I liked that video because it made me laugh. Sorry,
Right.
I can't help it. It made me laugh.
Right.
It made me laugh.
Sometimes there is mocking of famous comics or very, very successful comics.
Yes.
And you're like, I'm sorry, you can't take I mean, we've all had our chops busted.
Yeah.
I'm back to talking about balls again, you guys. No, we've all had
Every time you come back from the Midwest, you're all crotch.
Oh my God. When I used to come back from those 6 or 10 week runs,
Yeah.
I was doing, they were weekends and one nighters, and I was aggro. And Andy would be like, "Hey, are you okay? Let's soften you up a little bit here. Why don't you go do some sets around LA
Oh my God.
where they want to hear
Do a set at a coffee shop. Just take it down 40 notches.
Right? The decibel level is at 11.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
well, yeah.
I mean, other people liked it. Other
sure.
people even
and
commented on it.
Here's what I think. I'm big. I'm a fisherman that's not catching fish. So you obviously you won, right? but it just like, so I liked it, and I just wrote a funny comment to the person who made the video making fun of it, and then that was that. I went along my way, and then so the original comic apparently mentioned and tagged me in stories, and I was notified by another comic who was also tagged and called mean, and then I didn't reply to this person, and they deleted it. So I don't know. Sometimes you lash out and then you're like, I don't want to get into this.
You get defensive and you're like, why were you
Sure.
so mean? And then you're like, it was fine, or it
Right.
doesn't matter.
Or who cares? And so I didn't, so I'm just going to pretend like it didn't happen unless they bring it up again. If you want to tell me I'm mean to my face, I will accept
You
it.
can have that.
Apologize.
And you can have that conversation if it happens.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. But I don't want to reopen it if it's unnecessary. I mean, also we're all very sensitive right now. This is a terrible time. Rudge has had Armageddon on a headline for like 4 days straight, but that's not, and then 80 million other things, and social media just amps everything up. So what's the deal? Who cares? I don't know.
Yeah, you can't do it.
I feel like if you're super famous and you've got a lot of shit going on, some things you just got to let go. And if some lesser comic like me is, laughing at a reaction video, who cares? You won. You're a bajillionaire and you get all the spots and you're doing fine. Like, I'm a nobody. I'm really like a flea in the artistic or in this person's life. So I don't understand why anyone would even care.
There's a lot to unpack there. A lot of things about you being artistically. Let's just say that this person does bigger venues than we do.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying anyone's a better or worse comic. I'm just saying career-wise,
it shouldn't matter. But when you think about career-wise, but like right now, all the comics, there are actors who have won Academy Awards sitting around looking at other actors going, why did they get that?
I know.
They're in their castles. So,
right.
Everybody remains human and remains worried. But you would like to encourage that person to not be worried, because it does not matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yes,
no,
that's what you're encouraging. And
the only thing that matters is that I have to wake up at 4 a.m. to get to, and hopefully have a decent travel day so I can take my son to a hand appointment he probably doesn't need because it's follow-up.
Well, right. I'm going to Plano, Texas, which is in the Dallas area, to do yet another comedy festival
Damn.
on Friday. And then
So many
next,
it's festival season. We've done
Right.
so many, you and I. this
and but I get back on Sunday. I leave on Wednesday to do Austin, Texas, to do Altercation, which is what I was going to name my album. But
Ah.
I'm doing a Thursday night show in Austin, Texas, a week from Thursday. So Plano this weekend, Austin next week on the Thursday, and then in 3 more weeks after that, or 3 more weeks from now, Houston, Texas, to do their comedy. So Texas, Texas, Texas. And I'm doing a live Doug Loves Movies, and I'm doing a
Jackie,
live Dork Forest. Yep.
have you got the Omicron booster yet?
Not available because I got the second booster too late. So, but what I am getting on Tuesday is the shingles, my second shingles booster.
When I
and
would,
a
as
flu
soon as you
booster.
can get the Omicron, I would,
Oh, for
I wouldn't
sure.
want to go to Texas without being super vaxxed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's in my calendar
Like,
to get
okay.
it as soon as I'm eligible.
All right.
So it is scheduled. But I'm not available, sadly. Let's take a 45 break.
And we're back. I'm this weekend, Friday and Saturday, I'm doing spots galore at the stand.
Oh, that's right. Just
all
up the
night.
stairs, down the stairs, up the stairs, down the
Up,
stairs,
up, down,
across
up,
the
down.
hall, up, down, up, down, up, down.
No cab fare. It's all
Yeah.
private, Jackie. It's all private.
Gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm.
I'm going to New York in January from the 5th to the 15th.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, 10 days.
I am going to Boston. I a venue called Off Cabot, and that will be November 18th and 19th. So if you're in
That's neat.
Boston, please come. I've heard it's a very intimate, like, little venue, and if I can sell out a couple shows, they'll add an extra one. And I'm super excited. I'm going to fly in to New York a couple days early, and then take Amtrak to Boston and back, and then fly back. So yeah, I use my points. Club owners are so, not just, I'm not targeting anyone. It's all over the place, are unaware of how expensive plane flights are.
Yeah.
$500 will not get you anywhere unless you're going from LA.
700, sadly. Yeah, at least.
I mean,
yeah.
It will not get you across the country. It won't get you to the Midwest at all. It's ridiculous. It's minimum 600, but it's often 7.
Yeah, it's usually 7 is what I'm going to ask for right now, and see if anybody gives a damn. Guess what? So Carmen and I are in the Sky Club today because Carmen Morales and I flew back together.
Mhm.
I was bumped up. She was not. We were in the Delta Sky Club though, and
She was your guest?
at the Delta Sky Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so she wanted to send a picture. She wanted to airdrop. So she turns her phone on. She's like, Jessica Curson is in this Sky Club. She was sitting on the other side of our chair. Yeah, we got to hang out and hang with Jessica Curson.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
15, 20 minutes. It was awesome. Yeah.
Out of Minneapolis?
Yeah, her layover, she had just done Grand Rapids, a small theater in Grand Rapids. She had also just done a very small cabaret in DC she was going to tell me about.
Neat.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was like, yeah, I'm in. But so she's been working the road a bunch, she said. But it was so great to run into her. And she's got 3 kids, you know.
I know. I was just going to ask how many she had. I thought she had
7-year-old and twins that are like 3.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of kids.
That's tough.
Yep.
That's a lot of work you got to do.
Augie Smith drove my mother-in-law to her doctor's appointment the other day because Andy couldn't do it.
I love Augie. I'm so excited he got a house before everything collapsed. I mean, the mortgage rates right now are insane. And I was looking up how much, like when I was in 89, the house I was born and raised in, or mostly raised in, was the whole neighborhood was on a county land, and they decided to take it back and just put some really shitty business park right near Pleasantville BART station. It just looks awful.
Yeah.
So my parents had to buy a house in 89, which was my
Bad year
dad,
for it.
bad year, and the interest rates were like 11%, 10 and 11%. Oh my God. Because I know that they were really stressed by that. Oh man.
Right.
But I guess I didn't really pay attention.
What are they now? What are they
I
now?
think they're right around 6 to 7% right now.
Okay.
And like 2 years ago, they were in like the high 2s, 3%. So I just know a lot of comics that are trying to buy a house, like younger comics that have kids or have a baby or going that direction. And the prices were so fucking bananas in LA, and they still are pretty high.
Yeah.
But the insurance rates, the mortgage rates are going to drive them down a little bit. I don't know. It's just an awful time to be housing insecure, especially because people are just, rents are being jacked up wholesale crazily. And the only way for you to, like have rent control basically is to buy a house or buy a place, buy an apartment, buy something. So you have like, if you have a 30-year loan, that's what you're paying for the next 30 years, this.
Right.
So.
Right. It's
Anyway, Avi bought a house. That's all. I don't know why I went off on that rant. I spent a lot of time on Reddit, folks. But Avi bought a house, and I'm glad for him. I think it was really hard to find one.
Yeah, and it's not far from me, so it's here in the valley. That's cool. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing Lyric Hyperion too this week, which is good. And I'm gonna do KO comedy again, I think in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
I had such a good time doing a Zoom show with them a couple weeks ago.
And for all of our Patreons, we will be doing Zoom shows.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah, we've tried to do it with Max Fun, but it has been
we've done one.
Yeah, we've done one, and we will do others if Max Fun wants us to, for sure.
Here's what we do. If we do one when we do one for our Patreons, we'll also match and do it for our Max Funners.
Oh, there you go. That's a good idea. I like that. And okay, so there was an article, I think it was yesterday in Variety. I only read the headline.
Oh, good.
So grain of salt. But it said it was about how TJ Miller was glad that he wasn't doing Deadpool 3 because he never wants to work with Ryan Gosling again, because Ryan Reynolds, not Gosling. So sorry. Who else can I fuck with their names? Ryan Reynolds.
You only read the headline.
I did
only got the wrong Ryan. I'm very excited.
I got the wrong. It's Chris Evans, Chris Pratt, Chris Helmsworth. Anyway, yeah. So, but it was this whole thing about how I don't want to do it anyway. But the scuttlebutt a year ago when they started doing it was that he was never going to do it again because he needs help. He's in a bad way, right? And you're just like, it just makes me sad. And it's not TJ Miller in particular, because TJ Miller, he's got plenty of, he's made plenty of mistakes, and he's weird and violent when he drinks and does drugs. And it's just so, I was so weirded out that Variety would be like,
just treating him
he's
like
not gonna, like bad boy, boys will be boys kind of thing, and he doesn't want to do it anyway. And I was like, let me fix this headline for you. And so I changed the headline, and I just changed it to Ryan Gosling, Reynolds. Reynolds. Thank you. Ryan Reynolds essentially doesn't want to babysit him while he figures out how to, he's plenty of club work, so he's got work, but but Ryan Reynolds doesn't. That's the headline should be: Ryan Reynolds doesn't want to wait for him to get his shit together for him to play, a 15-line character in a Deadpool movie, to keep giving him film.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
do, the industry is so concerned about male comics. they're so worried about them. Hey, they're doing okay. You don't have to worry about them. You know what?
Yes.
They're making their money.
Mhm.
There was a funny, I thought Hassan Minhaj,
Yeah.
I had a really funny, I only thought of this because it's Silicon Valley and TJ, but he has a PowerPoint where he shows Kumail with his abs that he got for
Right.
oh
Right.
my God. And
I saw that.
it
It's
was a
in his
really funny
Netflix
bit
special.
about how how it was terrorizing him. And it was just really funny. And I usually don't like PowerPoint stuff, but his was really funny. And then he ended up by just falling face first in a couch out of frustration with the pressure to have the abs that Kumail has.
Yes.
It's
He's
funny.
like, why do you have to tell people that brown people can look like this?
yeah,
That brown men or whatever. It was something like
Yeah.
that.
yeah. It was very funny.
Yes. Anyway, where are we at here, Kyle? Any idea?
Just about there.
All right.
Uh,
Go.
you're gonna go to sleep.
Yes. No. I don't know. I'll take a nap and then wake up. I have to pack still, and then I've like this. Literally, this is a $38 salad to get it delivered.
Oh my God.
I'm so angry.
Yeah, I had
I
two
feel like I wanna-
$27 salads.
I bet they were
In
better than that though.
they were chicken Caesars. I missed Maria. She loves a chicken Caesar salad, so I was like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Maria Bamford. Maybe I'll order a chicken Caesar salad. She is my friend. Anyway, yeah, it's such. I'm not saying it's not weird. So yeah, so Plano, Texas, and then Thursday the 19th, Austin. Wait, the 20th, Austin, and then weirdly enough, I believe I'm home. Oh, I'm doing uncab at the end of the month. But
Cool.
yeah, just LA stuff. I'm home for a couple of weeks. It's nice.
Okay.